Hello everyone, my name is Hugo, welcome back to my channel. I know I've skipped a week, I think, with uploading. I didn't feel like uploading and I didn't just want to upload something for the sake of uploading a video. I let this know on my Twitter, but I don't have a lot of followers there, but yeah. Anyway, I am back with a video. I'm going to do a review, which is why I'm sitting down. A review will be less comical maybe than other videos. And today I'm going to review a man called Uwe, I think it's pronounced, or Uwe, I hear a lot of people say, I think it's Uwe. By Fredrik Backman, who is a famous author, has many bestsellers, and this is the first book I read of him. So it's a bit hard to talk about this without spoiling it. So I'm gonna do like very briefly talk about the synopsis and then give real quick my spoiler-free thoughts on it, but then I'm gonna go into spoilers. So what is this book about? It's about a man called Uwe, and he is a very grumpy old man who has lived a life, and he gets annoyed by many minor things and by not so minor things, but in his heart he's still a very good man. Even though he might not even admit it, he still is a good man. So we just follow him through his days and we see what annoys him and why it annoys him, etc, etc. This book is very character driven. There isn't a lot of plot going on. There is some, of course, but it's mostly character driven, and yeah, as you know, I love character driven books. However, this was very character driven, which I gave it 4 stars out of 5, and that's just because there wasn't really any plot. That being said, I really love this book and I really recommend it to anyone. So, why did I love it? I don't know actually. I think Uwe is so likable, and I don't know, I kind of related to him. Not in the same sense as I've had a similar life, obviously, because I'm only 23 and not like an old man. But I don't know, I just kind of related to him. And yeah, anyway, I'm gonna get into spoilers because it's really hard to not talk about this without spoiling it. So, can you tell I do not prepare my reviews? So I finished this a couple of days ago actually, so it's not like fresh. I had to like think on it for a few days before giving my thoughts on it. So we see Uwe, right? And we see him going through his day, getting annoyed by neighbors, getting annoyed by a dog shitting in his front yard, things like that. And first you might think like, bro, fucking chill a bit. Well, some might think that. I didn't think it. I was like, yeah, fucking tell him. But we see like a couple of chapters like that. Not that much. And then one chapter just... Okay, so again, full spoiler alert. One chapter just ends with, okay, now is the day I am going to kill myself. So that immediately like hits a bit hard. Because people get mad at him for him getting annoyed about everything. Well, obviously they don't know what's going through his head, and he was making all these plans to just kill himself. He wanted to do it very neatly, so he bought like a rope, he bought like a hook to hook in the ceiling, he covered all the floors so his house would stay clean, he would leave the door unlocked so they didn't need to break in, things like that. So he really like, I don't know, thought about the people that might find him. And he also just didn't want his house to get broken into or destroyed or get dirty or something like that, because he would hate getting footsteps on his floor. So yeah, but obviously that's like chapter 3 or something. But obviously he doesn't kill himself because that would be a very short book. But right at the moment he hangs himself, but the rope snaps and the only reaction he has is like, they can't even make decent ropes anymore. What's the world turned into? Something like that. And yeah, he has like a couple of attempts like that. And a lot of things that happened was that he was just about to kill himself. Like there's a moment where he's just gonna shoot himself, but then someone knocks on his door, and someone needs him. Someone needs him to fix the radiator. Someone needs to anything, right? So people kept needing him, and those are moments where you see like, okay, Irv is really grumpy. However, he does still help these people, even if it is out of spite to like show them like, you can't even do this yourself, you're such a fucking useless person, things like that, but he still helps them. So yeah, I don't know where I'm going with this. So there are moments like, Uwe is very old-fashioned. He owns a Saab car. If you don't know what a Saab is, that's a car, Swedish car. And he is very old-fashioned. He has certain rules. But he's a very good person, right? So he helps this kid fixing a bike for a girl that he fancies. And this kid works at like a coffee shop or something, and he goes there, and then there's this friend of him there, and he walks into the coffee shop, and Ove is just like, why are you wearing makeup? And yeah, it turns out this kid is gay, and his father is very much against gay people. So yeah, it's tough on him. So his father doesn't know. And yeah, I don't know. You see Ove like stepping in, and he takes this kid into his house, and yeah, kind of just takes care of him so he can't kill himself again, because people still need him. And the story also goes like back and forth with like flashbacks. So the reason why, maybe I should have started with this. The reason why Ove wants to kill himself is because his wife died. His wife died because of cancer after a couple of years being in a wheelchair because of an accident. But he always took care of his wife, but then again, yeah, they got hit by some bad news and his wife got cancer. And she didn't make it. She died, and Ove was like, there's no point in continue my life without her, right? Turns out there was a point, because he helps all these people, and his ex-best friend Rune, or Rune, or however you call it, yeah, he's like having signs of Alzheimer, and they're trying to take him away and put him in a nursery home. And Ove is obviously like, no, that's not gonna happen. They had some fights over the years, but now Ove really is there for Rune, and he does everything in his power to stop them. He then goes to his wife's grave and kind of like tells her, honey, I can't come yet, I can't join you yet, because I've got stuff to do here. And his new neighbors, Parvane and forgot the husband's name. They have also like 2 or 3 kids. Parvane is like the one that kind of gets Ove back on track and shows him that there are still things worth living for. So he goes to his wife's grave and kind of tells her, I can't join yet. You'll have to wait a bit longer. People need me here. And yeah, it feels good to be needed. So he obviously doesn't kill himself. And then he gets stabbed by some people who were trying to break into a house, and Ove tried to stop it, and they attacked him and left him there. Parvane was there, and she calls an ambulance. I don't know, I just want to read this part. So this is right after he got stabbed, right? Death is a strange thing. People live their whole lives as if it does not exist. And yet, it's often one of the great motivations for living. Some of us, in time, become so conscious of it that we live harder, more obstinately, with more fury. Some need its constant presence to even be aware of its antithesis. Others become so preoccupied with it that they go into the waiting room long before it has announced its arrival. We fear it, yet most of us fear more than anything that it may take someone other than ourselves. For the greatest fear of death is always that it will pass us by and leave us there alone. People always said that Ove was bitter, but he wasn't bloody bitter. He just didn't go around grinning the whole time. Did that mean one had to be treated like a criminal? Ove hardly thought so. Something inside a man goes to pieces when he has to bury the only person who ever understood him. There is no time to heal that sort of wound. And time is a curious thing. So I know this review wasn't really like very constructive or very well planned, but yeah, I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. Now I'm thinking, while I'm thinking about it, I'm thinking like maybe it's 5 stars because I really liked it. Ove really is one of my favorite characters now, so yeah, maybe I'll give it 5 stars. I don't know. Maybe 4.5. I really recommend it, especially if you like character-driven books. I would say just go read it. If you haven't read it, I don't know why you stayed this long. I don't know what to tell you. I never cried with a book in my life, like books just don't tend to do that with me, but this book got me pretty close. I don't know, yeah. I know this review made no sense whatsoever. I just really recommend everyone to read this book, and I will definitely get more into Backman's other books because I really enjoyed his writing style as well. Even though I'm assuming he doesn't write in English, so this is probably even a translation. So if there are any Swedish people out there, let me know if there is a big difference between the translation and his own, if he writes in Swedish. Anyway, yeah, sorry. That's all I got to say about it, I guess. Yeah, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye, guys.